Hey, so today we're going to be talking about, what Pixilart program to use. And yeah, so we're going to be going into each one and messing around. So let's start by listing them off. Number one, we have well-known Aesprite. Number two, we have more obscure Pixel Edit with a Y instead of an I. Number three, we've got the only online web browser pixel art software called Pixilart, but with an I, so Pixilart. All links to these programs are in the description of the video, so if you want to check them out. Then we got GIMP and Photoshop, the two main well-known programs on the computer. So the first program that I'm going to start out with is going to be Aesprite because it's one of the most well-known. So as you can see, we have Aesprite open here, and I'm going to talk about why I own Aesprite, but I don't actually use it that much. I bought it because I thought it was a good program. I played with it, had some pretty good features, but I'm going to explain why I don't use it. This is your run-of-the-mill Pixilart program. You can swap your colors around. You can animate in this timeline down here. You can change how thick the brush is. You can do. I think that this is the most user-friendly program for Pixilart. So you can go in, you can draw something in here like a blue slime, and you would animate this blue slime through this timeline down here, and you've got a color picker right here, right, which is very nice. You've got to get used to some of the shortcuts because a lot of shortcuts are similar between programs, but a lot of them are not at the same time. This one also, its little icon doesn't change to what tool you're using, so you've got to maybe guess a bit sometimes. So I'm just filling the slime in. I'm just gonna make it smile, right? And you've got this program, and the reason I like it because it's that it's very user-friendly, right? You've got the icons. It looks very nice. They pay tribute to Pixel text, especially their user interface is fantastic. They have features like this is not a tutorial on how to use, but you have features like outlining it. You can pick the color of the outline. You can pick basically anything, and you can pick how thick the outline is. It's very, very, very well made, and this program is I will use for making my logos, my Pixilart logos for my game. How the text would be outlined and stuff. But the big thing about this is that it's based on a timeline animation, and there's two types of animation that I think are the main ones. There's timeline animation and onion skinning. With that, you use a lot of onion skinning. You got tile map based animation. So this program, I would say, for the if you spend a lot of time with one program, you'll definitely get good with it. But this program is very user friendly, so I'll recommend it. I think it's about $20 on Steam, or you can compile it for free if you're into that. Compiling is difficult. I'm not going to explain how to compile programs, but it's free, but it's not as easy as hitting download. So I'm going to say that this price is very good if you compile it. It's free. So yeah, so that's Aesprite. I'll give it a thumbs up. Out of 10, I would rate this a 8.2 out of 10. Very good. I'm not a fan of the animation system, but a lot of people are. So let's move on to its rival, quote unquote, more obscure Pixel Edit. Oh, welcome back. I'm here in Pixel Edit now. So this program, I'll say, is the more It's more obscure, right? It costs around $7 to download. No compiling. There's a free beta version that lacks a lot of features. So I'm gonna say that this version, when you compile Aesprite, gives you all the features. But when you you get a free version of this, it's doesn't have a lot of the features. So what I say about Pixilart is it looks very nice, it's very clean. It defaults to a dark mode, which is always a plus. Let me create a 64 by 64 document. And what you'll see here about this program is that it's very tile-based. So I'm going to say 2 by 2, and you have 64 pixels, 64 pixels, 64 pixels, and 64 pixels by 64. So these are all 4 quadrants. And the big plus about this program is that this program is mainly centered on the fact that you are used to a tile-based animation. And what I mean by that is usually you have a timeline, right? And you have frame 1 to frame, 10. And those frames will be on the timeline. And you scroll through the timeline and it changes. And usually have the document look like one 64 by 64 document. But with these, this is built for building tiled animation and tile maps. And tiled maps are for like ground pieces, and you should check out tile maps. I'm not going to explain exactly what tile maps are, but if you know what that is, it's definitely a program I will recommend. And I'm gonna draw real quick. And what I like about this program, it has good shortcuts, right? Press C to get the blue out, right? You can check one pixel, a pixel perfect drawing on. So I'm just gonna draw a little slime. And what I'm gonna say about these 3 programs that I'm beginning with, right, is these 3 programs require little to no setup for your artwork. You just jump in right into to drawing your pixel art, and it's very easy to get used to, right? You just jump in, right? And I'm gonna put this right in the middle because this is what it will look like in the frame. And yeah, this program, if you want to pay a bit less and get there's less features. You don't have an outline feature. You don't have a text insert feature in this. It is heavily based on tile maps, building tile maps and building tiled animations. So I'll say for the price, it's very good. For the price it's at, I will recommend. I'll say 8.6 out of 10. The reason I say 8.6 out of 10 is this is. Of course, these ratings are my opinion, but I prefer tiled animation because when you have it, you can see all your frames separately, individually, versus when you have one and you see the onion skins. And of course, I'm rating it higher because you, of course, can get a very similar experience to just adding frames in and out. So because you have onion skins down here, you can swipe through the frames down here. So if you really, really want to, you can just maximize this and have your document set up, and you can just work in this area because you can also draw in this one area. So I will rate it an 8.6 out of 10. Very good, very good. Next program we're going to be looking at is Pixilart Online. So now I'm in a guest tab right here. I'm just going to search up Pixilart, and I will click the first results, and you can log in and sign up. And what I will say about Pixilart, it is way more social media based, right? This program is you've got the basic interface. You have animations. You have you can add frames down here, right? It's a timeline based. That's what I'll say. It has buckets. You've got color picker. You've got draw square. You've got draw circle. You've got the pencil tool. You've got gradient tool, which is very nice in Pixilart because a lot of the times you can you don't have a gradient tool in a lot of programs. Like Pixel does not have one. But you can pick how big it is. You even have a brush tool, which is more splattery. But I will say about this program is it's free. It's got ads that pop up right here. You gotta click them out. You can save your drawings, but this is mostly based on the fact that you can create an account and you can look at other people's artwork, and it's heavily based on drawing one quick drawing, right? You have a smiley face, right? Or you're drawing like a quick animation, even something that's a bit longer, like maybe a 10-second animation, but it's not specifically built for sprites in a video game. So I'll say this is a very good tool if you don't if you want something that's like completely free and you don't want to download anything, you just go online and you draw some pixel art. This is fantastic. This is great. Use this. It is completely free, 100%. And signing up, you can save your drawings. You can make it all private. You don't need to do any public stuff. So I'm gonna rate this one a 6.8 out of 10, mostly because it's not. It doesn't. You can save these drawings to your computer. You can download, but it's online. Its interface is not as good. You still have like shortcuts and stuff, but I will say that they have the animation system isn't as complex. But I haven't used it all that much. I have used it, but I'm gonna say 6.8. I think that's a pretty good score for an online, completely free program. Next thing we're going to be looking at is GIMP. And here we are in GIMP. So one thing about GIMP is that it is a photo manipulation software. It's very similar to Photoshop. And the thing about Photoshop and GIMP is that they're both not specifically made for pixel art and animating the pixel art. So you would actually have to set up some grid settings up here. You can definitely do that. I almost guarantee you that you can set up some grid settings. This is a 64 by 64 grid. As you can see, I can draw it out. I'm going to draw my slime. Didn't draw my slime in pixel art, but that's fine. So I'm going to draw my slime out here. And yeah, I'm using the pencil tool, which is very good. You can zoom in, right? You can have your mouse go out. And let me pick a nice color, and you have some tools here. You have a gradient too. You have a bucket fill, but these all require a bit more time and effort to master. So the shortcuts, they're a bit different, but that's fine. I can go ahead and pick this color right here. Select pencil again. Have a nice smile on the slime, and yeah, that's GIMP. You can have like a background. What I will say about GIMP is that it is, this is not for pixel art. It is, I will say, the go-to free, completely free program that you can do pixel art in. You would have to do it tile-based, and you can't view the animation directly in here. You would have to export it to Unity, set it up. But this program, completely free. It's a program you download. You don't need to make an account. It is, I will say, an 8.9. Why do I say 8.9? Even though it doesn't have animation system, even though it's not completely centered on building pixel art animations, I will give you that this program, it is available to almost anyone. It is very runnable on your computer, right? It's you just download it, exe, no account required, and it's got some tools in here. It's not messing around, right? It's got some good tools, right? And if you want to stretch your slime out, you can mess around with these tools. It's kind of funny, but I'm giving it a higher rating than the actual pixel art programs because it is free. I know $7. I'll say it's a good price. $20. It's an okay price, especially since you can compile Aesprite, but mostly because it's free. And a lot of game developers, Unity's free. You want to save the money because you don't want to be spending money like that, right? So the next program we're going to be looking at is the giant, the cliche go-to program, Photoshop. So here we are in Photoshop, and you've got the pencil tool. And GIMP and Photoshop are very similar. I'd recommend GIMP since it's free, but I have Photoshop because of different reasons. It's very expensive though. That's the thing about it that is the the reason a lot of people don't have it is that it's expensive, and I think it's ridiculously expensive. But you either can pay, I think, Adobe like all apps, or you can just buy it, pay monthly, I think. So I'll rate this one a 7.1 out of 10. Doesn't have an animation, right? You'd have to do this same thing as in GIMP. It is very based on it's very based for not for pixel art, right? You'd probably want to specifically, like, you just have this on your computer, out of, I don't know, you have another for your work or something, or for your school, you already have it paid by someone else. But I wouldn't recommend getting Photoshop just for pixel art. A better move would be to try and compile Aesprite, try and download GIMP. Remember, all links in the description. But you've got, I drew the slime. This one looks a bit more sad because the price is very high. It's a sad slime because now, so again, 7.1. It's okay. This program is fantastic for photoshopping stuff. Like, again, I will say that this is more of a brand name. And no hate towards Photoshop. I use Photoshop sometimes for logos, but I say it's more of a brand name because when you think of the standard photo editing software, you think of Photoshop, right? And Photoshop is the default you think of. It's very expensive, right? It's very corporate for Adobe. But again, yeah. So, in conclusion, what is the ideal program for pixel art that I should get? Is a question, the ultimate question that everyone has. And I'm going to ask you this. Do you have $20 to spare? Do you have $7 to spare? Do you prefer animating with frames, or do you prefer animating with tile maps? And I'm going to say, if you got the $20 to spare, get Aesprite or Pixilart, depending on which one you prefer. If you don't want to download anything, right? This is the next step. If you don't want to download any programs and you want something free, try Pixilart. It's free. It's good. It's online. You can save your stuff. You can get some likes from people because it's based on social media. So that if you don't want to pay anything, you just want something free and downloadable, try GIMP. I'll say I rate it good, right? If you want to spend some more time, compile Aesprite. Compiling it is free. Compiling Aesprite, I think that they themselves give out the compile files, so go search how to do that up. And if you have money to throw away, that sounds a bit harsh, but if you really want to use Photoshop, use Photoshop. I'm going to put Photoshop at the bottom of my list, at the very bottom of my list, and the reason is it's so expensive and it's not built for pixel art. Don't get it unless you have again, you have your work already paying for it because you work in art, or your work gives you Adobe Creative Cloud, or your school gives you Adobe Creative Cloud or something. You got I don't know, a library. I've never seen a library have just Photoshop on the computer, but again, personally, what do I use? I use Pixilart every time. I use Aesprite for my logos and stuff in pixel art. I use GIMP if I want to make a title screen. I used Pixilart years ago. And sometimes, just sometimes, I use Photoshop for some crisper promotional art. But that's just because I have it handy. So, in all, there's a lot of free programs out there that are good to use. And use that to your advantage. See you maybe in the next video. Have a fun time, make pixel art.